Yes. Okay. Guys, so
Hey there, can you hear me, Summer?
Yes,
Summer, can you?
yes, sir, I can.
Okay. No feedback or nothing? Everything's good?
Yes.
All right. So give them a few minutes to get in here before we get started. Hey, Queen, how you doing?
Hey, Queen.
Hi, Boo.
Hey, you guys, how are y'all?
Hey, good.
You.
Good.
Yeah, we're just gonna give some people a chance to get in here.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this one because anybody that knows me, they know I'm pretty passionate about this particular topic. Um, I, this is the hill I choose to die on. You know, if it come down to it, this is the one. You know, 'cause this is the one that to me truly makes up uh, who we are. You know, and what we do. We're rebels by nature. You know, so it's kind of hard for me to believe that there's a cookie cutter method that works for everybody, or else we wouldn't really be rebels. We'd just be everybody doing the same exact. It'd be a religion, right?
Eat me, choke me, tie me up. Oh my God.
It doesn't have to be the same. So for everybody. So I like talking about this topic, and I find that other people that I talk to about it, they start to get into it, and they get they get pretty invested in it as well because they see what's going on out here is craziness, madness. So let's see, it's 7:02. We'll give them another few minutes to get in here before we get going.
Sheba Knight, give me that shirt. That's cute. Have that on my bed when I come.
Man, I was catching hell over here trying to get this thing turned on. I didn't even know what the hell I was looking at. On weird screens. So yeah, my dogs is over there. So they're gonna be barking and whining and shit. Don't mind them. They just kind of slow.
They don't they don't feel like there can be a conversation they're not involved in.
Right. Yeah. So right, it's 7:04. Well, we could just get going, and as people come, they can join in on the conversation. Um, hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Lorenzo Knight or Sir Knight, depending on what capacity we're speaking on. This is Sheba Knight.
Hi.
We also have Summer Night with us. These are my two signed submissives that are covered by me and work under me to kind of get this message out there and kind of really talk to the people about the real side of BDSM and not just what you see on TV and what you see in the movies. Because there's a lot more to it, as we all know. So that's why we're doing this, because we want to make sure that we're getting the proper perspective on things. You know, when I came in, I didn't have this. There was no platform where you can just ask questions and get answers. You had to go out there. First of all, you had to know somebody who knew somebody. Then they get you in the front door, right? And then before you could even do anything, you had to hang around for a little bit. They had to know you first, you know. It was a whole process, but they don't do that, you know. The fact is, we're in a new time. You know, this is a new era, and in this new era, you got to be able to kind of change with the times in order to keep yourself operating at a high level. Nowadays, there's a lot of parts of it that's overlooked. That's why we take time to slow down and kind of go over these parts, because we want to make sure that everybody understands what makes up our house and whatnot. So Sheba's going to go ahead and do our disclosure to keep us from getting sued.
Welcome back, family, to Triskelion Tuesday Talks. I am Sheba. Before we start tonight's conversation, here's our disclaimer. This show is for educational and community building purposes only. We're here to share experiences, insights, and resources, not to prescribe how anyone should live or play. Every example we give involves informed, consenting adults. Kink is yours to define, but it must always be rooted in safety, consent, and mutual respect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just to reiterate, I always like to go over it again and make sure I make it clear to everyone that we are not therapists, we're not doctors. I mean, on the verge of a PhD here and there, you know, but at this moment we're not doctors, so we can't claim that. These things that we're telling you is not necessarily the right way. It's not the wrong way, but it's our way. It's the way that we operate. And I believe that the proof is in the pudding. You know, I have high caliber S types that are high caliber. So, but the message that I'm trying to get out there for the most part is it's more of a mental thing than the physical. So we hit on the mental side because everybody hits on the physical. We all know the dynamics, the techniques on how to, you know, swing a flogger and all that good stuff. So we're gonna go through the real stuff, right? Tonight we're gonna dive into something that's I think is very important to the community, especially in this day and age when things are changing fast rate in the way they are. Sorry about that. A lot of times people that come into the lifestyle, they believe that it's like a cookie cutter thing. You just kind of do the same thing everybody else is doing and you're good. That's not a thing no more. It's not a thing. Here's why. Nowadays, everybody's making amendments and changing things to suit what they need from the dynamic in order to be the best version of themselves, right? For example, I'm just going to throw something out there where it's an everyday thing that we change, but people don't really think about it. Let's think about like safe words, you know? Yeah, you can call out a safe word, but there's also nonverbal. There's also nonverbal, and that's because we had to adapt, because sometimes in these environments that we're in, you can't necessarily hear. So that's an example of what I mean. Like when things change, sometimes you have to adapt with it in order to, you know, get to maximize the moment, right?
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely with kink, you kind of have to make it your own. A lot of people try to copy someone else's version, and it may or may not work quite right. So, yeah, it's basically to make it your own, and that's what works natural and best when you do.
So tonight we're gonna break down myths, We're going to share some real stories. Hopefully, it'll give y'all the confidence to do your own thing and find your own way in this. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. First of all, can everybody hear me clearly? I just need to make sure, because my dogs are in the background, and if they start making too much noise, you ain't gonna be able to hear me. So I'll put them outside. It's raining, but I'll put them outside.
Daddy, don't put them dogs outside.
Tear up the neighborhood.
Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started right away. We're just gonna jump right into the big one, right? The one that everybody's been waiting on, the one that everybody wants to talk about, right? The myth that there's a right way to do kink, right? Movies, porn, and even parts of the kink community kind of push this idea that this is the way it's supposed to look. If it don't look this way, you're doing it wrong. Again, like I said earlier, I don't agree with that. I feel like we're all rebels. We do what we want to do. If that's the case, then, and we're just conforming to what everyone else is doing, then we're just following everybody. We're not really rebels. We're not really, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. For me, I feel like when I first came in, that was one of the hardest things that I had to deal with, because I'm not like everybody else. And I had to come to terms with not everybody's like me. So people don't look at things the same way that I do. They don't approach problems the same way I do. They don't do things in the same way I do. This was when I had the realization, like, well, how could there be a right way to do this if everybody needs to do it their own way? If everybody needs their equity and they need to be able to kind of be themselves in this and get what they need from this, there can't be a cookie cutter way, because everybody's different. So that got me down this process of thinking, well, I don't necessarily have to do it like everybody else is doing it. I can do it myself. An example of that is there's a leather house, for example, that I know of. They kind of did away with the most common terms that we're used to hearing, as far as like, head of household and stuff like that. I'm going to give you a case study here that I looked up. In 2002, a survey led by Dr. Justin Lee Miller found that over 70% of kink practitioners intentionally customize their scenes, changing roles, locations, or rules to fit their personalities, comfort, and partner's needs, right? Most people are already bending and breaking these regular norms. The reason why I say that is because this next story that I get into to tell you about is gonna kind of hit on this a little bit more. So in this particular house, they're not using the traditional titles and whatnot. They changed it up. There's an emperor in this house. There's a contessa in this house. And these are things that I had never heard. So for someone that's never heard this, if I'm hearing it for the first time, my initial response is, this ain't right. Some sound off, some sound weird, right? But who says? In that case, it's just me saying, because it's not a law, it's not written in stone that it's got to be this title and this title and this title in order for it to be official. I know in some circles that it might be, and some, depending on what house you're going into, if you're going into a house, there might be. But if you're doing your own thing, you're not bound to do the exact same things that everybody else is doing.
Yes, sir. I see a lot with submissives that have reached out to me. They'll see what I post, see how I submit, see how I show service, and they'll think they're doing it wrong. Or they feel like because they've encountered a D-type that they like and they want to engage with, that they have to conform to his style of BDSM, when it's really not the case. What I do is what I do. And I'm still figuring it out. I think I just brought a new kick to my sir like a week ago. We've been together almost 3 years. So even the way we started expressing our kink with each other in the beginning has evolved and grown over time. So even we're not doing things the way we originally did it. And It's not saying that people that decided this is the way they're going to kink or warm are setting that standard for them. It's just saying that it's not applicable to everybody who doesn't fit that standard. Because I know there's not a lot of S types out like me. But I have to do what works for me, and they have to do what works for them.
Yeah.
Right. Or were you going to say something? Summer, were you going to say something?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna chime in with you see it a lot on FetLife and Reddit. The folks on there, some folks feel pressured that or get shamed for not following certain rituals or certain dress codes because they, are told that that's the norm when basically you can create your own kink. And a 2023 FetLife community study found that groups with open, non-judgment culture have 40% higher retention. So acceptance literally keeps communities alive. So inclusiveness and just kind of letting people, brand it and make it their own, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's the main takeaway that I want to make sure everybody gets from this first part is traditions are great. Traditions can be great if it fits you. But if it doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that you're different. And that difference might be exactly what makes your dynamic thrive. I believe someone had a question.
I think they were just saying hello. We had a greetings from Sir Oba Sekunia.
Say cool now. Say everybody knows say cool.
And spiritually stacked said peace, everyone. Good.
Spiritually stacked. We got spiritually stacked now too. Everybody take a second and say hello to Master Sekou. He took his time. He's in a different country, so he took his time to come out and see us real quick. Thank you for showing up there, sir.
Hi, sir. Thank you.
I think he might be on mute. That's all right. Summer.
Yes, sir.
Did you say something? I keep thinking I hear you saying something. It might be somebody else's microphone.
Oh, you just missed me. That's all. No.
That's it.
I was on mute.
Oh, okay. So, all right, I want to go into this other case study that I found out about. So there's a person named Dana Danger. I don't know if you ever heard of her. But she's an indigenous queer artist. She creates BDSM inspired, beaded, like fetish masks and whatnot. These pieces challenge colonial beauty standards and reclaim sexual power from her community. Her kink isn't just about fitting in the mainstream. It's about, again, telling her story, her way. I say that to say, again, that's going outside of the norms, outside of what people would traditionally expect or accept. But she's thriving. She's doing well because of that in itself. We're allowed to be a little bit different, you know?
Yes, sir. This is where intersectionality comes into play. Talking about race, gender, identity, disability, sexuality. They shape who we are. A queer male who is in a wheelchair is going to kink way differently from a heterosexual female who is submitting to one partner. So your environment, the way you grew up, it really kind of cultivates who you are. That's why it's really about creating spaces where everyone can be themselves, where they can feel free. This would be the space where you can say the most weirdest stuff, and you just really, it's somebody that's popping up. Like earlier, somebody said something, and it's like, ooh, I got an Amazon link for that. Like went and found the tool that she was referencing. So it's really about being comfortable enough to go out there and seek your community. We're one community, but we're groups of us because people tend to gravitate towards who they are, and it's just really about feeling free enough to express that and not having to go against the grain or find yourself in a situation that doesn't align with who you are as your kink self.
Right. I think Sekou made a couple of points in the comments.
Let me check that. Master Sekou says folk do have a clear personal understanding of the intersectionality of those terms versus general guidelines. Intersectionality that should read.
It should-
I'm sorry. Listen,
Yeah.
I corrected it and then read the correction.
Yeah.
I am sorry.
So-
I'll read it again for everybody. Folks do have a clear personal understanding of the intersectionality of those terms versus general guidelines.
Right. All right. Okay, that was it.
Oh, wait, I think I missed this first statement. Some of the issues come from the misunderstandings of the meaning of traditions, rituals, and protocols. There we go.
Absolutely. Master Sekou, would you mind getting on and giving us an example?
Greetings from the future. It's 3-something in the morning here in East Africa, so I usually try and jump into gatherings, but it becomes difficult because I'm 53.
Hold on, sir. I don't think you're coming through very clearly.
Can everyone hear Master Sekou?
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that
they
better?
said they could barely hear you.
Is that
Oh, yeah.
better?
There you go. That's better.
I'm having some Bluetooth issues. Anyway, yeah, I try and join when I can, but it's going on 3:30 in the morning for me here, so it's a struggle at 53 to jump in y'all's
Right.
evening. Greetings to everyone. I am a master head of household of Leather Protocol House, the House of Nia. When we have these discussions, one of the important things about being kinky is understanding that we communicate, but there's not a lot of communication always happening. Because to communicate, you have to communicate using mutually understood language. And generally, people have a varying degree of awareness or understanding of a lot of the jargon that we throw around when we throw around them. Like when we talk about leather, a lot of times people talk about leather from the outside, not the inside. And usually it's a retort from something that comes from a leather person, like the way they operate, some of the formalities that they embrace, some of the rules or norms that you see them operating within. And the understanding that they have of those 3 words, rituals, traditions, and protocols, right? And when we come in the community, a lot of times we come in like, hey, I'm here and I'm gonna do this my way. And there's a sliding scale of acceptance of that. And a lot of that feels like judgment. And I will be the first to raise my hand and say, there's the most judgmental community that you will ever walk into. You face less judgment walking into a Klan rally than you do the kink community. And the reason I say that is in a Klan rally, if you're a person of color, the object is to kill you. The greatest thing that can happen is to kill you. The reason you face so much judgment in the kink community is the things that you don't know and some of the things that you do can get you killed. And usually the people that are speaking to you are those people who have lost people to some of those behaviors that we see in you. Our delivery may not be warm and welcoming. At the same time, our care and concern, as one, you will never find a Black person that cares more about you as another Black person than a kinky Black person that's been around for a little while. Because we've all seen somebody that looks just like you. And I am not at all talking to the female identified people or the female presenting people. I'm talking to the brothers too. We have seen someone that looks just like you get wrapped up, locked up, or wiped out in this community. Be it some new dominant that got involved with the S-type that if you think baby daddy drama as a regular vanilla person is serious, You wait until someone that has a child and has a lover that they didn't inform you of because you didn't vet properly finds a bruise, a big bruise on their ass, and like marks from something on their neck when they're dropping their kid off, and find out it's you that did that. You talk about somebody pulling up, you know what I'm saying? Like we've seen people going, unalived out, and I hate that shit. I say murdered. I don't say unalived. We see people murdered. I lost one of my for the females that come in and they want to be dominatrixes and they want to be D types. Goddess Sadie Hawkins, I got pictures of us in our home, in my home. These are people we know real life, not online. She got murdered by one of her slaves in her front yard. So when we caution about things, these are things that we bear that lingering pain of, right? And we speak with truth, but sometimes we speak with the earnestness of someone that thinks that they're saving someone's life right now with what I'm saying to them. So sometimes it doesn't come across easy. It doesn't come across nice, but it does always come with kindness. Because kindness will tell you you need to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Nice will be like, go ahead, do what you're doing. It's okay. Nice will tell you what you want to hear. Kind will tell you the ugly part and say the quiet part out loud. But that's a tangent. Get back to what I was talking about. Traditions, rituals, and protocols. They all start out the same. They all start out personal, right? When they talk about leather traditions or kink traditions, that all started off with somebody thinking that this was what they wanted to do. When they got enough people to see the same way and do it just as they do it, it became a tradition within their region or their own personal house, right? Those traditions got popular, like saying left side and right side, right? They'll talk to you, you brand new, they'll be like, oh, what do you identify as? You say, I'm a submissive. Oh, you're a right sider just like me. It's like, what do you mean right side? Where did that come from? Right? But that was somebody's way of identifying which side of the slash. They put dominance over on the left side and submissive over on the right. Well, that's the West Coast side. East Coast didn't used to do it that way. East Coast used to identify, a lot of the population is right-handed. They identify dominance and strength with right. But in the 70s to 80s, the West Coast style got adopted within the leather community. And again, you'll hear the leather community reference because a lot of this is offshoots of the leather community, all offshoots of how they do it.
Right.
So the traditions only are traditions because enough people accepted them. Rituals are personal, just like traditions started out, but they may not have caught on, but they're definitely as important as traditions to people within that small group, right? People adopt rituals. Like there's some people, when you sneeze, they'll say, bless you, right?
Push.
Where is that written in the Bible that you got to bless somebody? If you're Christian,
Right.
the funniest thing is when I'm over here and I see Muslims, they say something different, but some of them will say bless you, and I'm like, to me that's confusing as hell because I'm like, Muslims don't believe you have that God powder in that individual. Why are you blessing people? But that's just a ritual that has been adopted outside of a small circle, but it's not really a tradition outside of the States because I was in Thailand and you sneezed and I saw somebody sneezing while they was cooking. They turned away, they did everything else, but they didn't say bless you. And I thought that was like something off. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not in America right now. Why would I even expect them to know that little American ritual, right? And protocols are personal too. But protocols are just what you do within your own dynamic. So you got rituals, which are like in your family, traditions, which are in the community, and protocols, which are just between one another, right? Protocols work best for you and those people that sign up to do it with you. If we have this understand, understanding, and we start talking about things like, y'all will see me comment on the bratty thing, and people might think I'm anti-brat. I'm pro-brat, 100%. It's just not for me because I'm deep into dominance and submission so far that I've transitioned into mastery and slavehood. And I'm like, all the brats that I know that have tenure and are in healthy, mutually empowering dynamics, the protocols of their dynamic is structured to support a brat and a brat tamer, right? So it's not just something I jumped in and it's like I do whatever I want and they love me for it. That's not it. It's I do what I'm most comfortable doing inside of what they're most comfortable dealing with. That's our protocol. If you tell me something and we've negotiated within my dynamic, it's okay to tell you no and stomp my feet. It's like using a safe word. No does not mean no. No is just what I say. No might actually mean yes, right? I tell you I need something to drink. You're like, I don't want to go get it. And you stomp your feet. I didn't say no. That's just what I do before I go get it. And understanding that the go getting it is about to happen, right? The go getting it is about to happen. When I tell you to stop, you're going to stop. But I'm going to stop after I shake my hands and stomp my feet because we've negotiated that, right? That's the brat comes after the submissive, right? I still submit to the person that's worthy of having dominion over me. At the same time, that person that has dominion over me understands that my compliance might look different than a standard submissive that says, yes, sir, right? I say, oh, no, I don't want to do that shit. That means yes, sir, within my dynamic. And he says, get your ass over there and do it, right? Because that turns them on. But see, a lot of people think that what they understand, we're not communicating with mutually understood language. People say brat, and they think what they thought coming in. I saw somebody's kid on the ground kicking and screaming, and I can do that in the kink community. Like, that's going to be hard to get partnered up with because there's not a lot of people that have that kind of bandwidth. There is some, but it's going to take you a long time to find that person. And it's going to be a lonely journey, right? But it's worth it because people who aren't brats, people who are standard submissives, people who are wonderful submissives, amazing submissives, they be single for a long time. Why? Because it's hard to find somebody that's worth all of that wonderful submission that they have. And they got to go through all the bullshit, kiss all the frogs until they find that prince or princess that they're looking for, right? So you have to be aware that, hey, you come in brand new and you say, I want to do this thing because it seems like it's trendy. That shit's like BBLs, right? You know, natural ass has been around since the beginning of asses, and we still love natural asses. I don't know who the fuck told people that we like BBLs. We don't even like BBLs. They
We
cost a
don't.
lot, you
A
know?
whole nother conversation.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying it's a thing like that. It's like you got people with little asses like, I got to get a BBL to get a big ass. But you got people with big asses saying, I got to get a BBL so it looked like a BBL. Ain't nobody
Right.
ever told you that BBLs was the thing. However, you will find somebody that loves it. You'll find somebody that love it for a little while. They might be enthralled in it. It might be novel to them. But at the end of the day, you probably lose that person to a woman with a little ass or somebody with a natural big ass. Because guess what? After the novelness run off, we going back home, right? And after the novelty of brattiness runs off for those people who want to try it, a lot of times you get predators that want to go after brats. Those hunters that are like, I bet she ain't gonna do that shit with me, or I bet I can tame her. I bet I can make her. I'll put her in line. Same way with my female dominant sisters. They get them motherfuckers in the inbox talking about, you just ain't met the right one. Well, after they fail,
That's the
you got to
worst.
start all over in your search. And you might be marred by the stench of that motherfucker because Trust me, people leave marks on you.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to throw that 2 cents in there because, again, not understanding what traditions, protocols, and rituals are, a lot of people think that people are very closed-minded. We're judgmental, but we're not closed-minded. You having a guideline, I mean, there's a lot of guidelines. Even in your Triskelions course, you have guidelines. Those aren't rules. They're not laws, but they are good guidelines that a lot of people have found success in. Now, whether you call yourself head of household, daddy, dominant, myself, I was given the name Oba. That's what Oba was given to me. I earned that name. I earned my master's recognition. Or whether you haven't earned anything and you want to have a house that's based on Star Trek, right? And you want to have a first lieutenant and a second lieutenant. You want to use the names. I'm Kirk. She's Yehuru. That's Scotty. You can do whatever you want, but the guidelines are there to give you a framework, and it doesn't really change it, and it doesn't diminish it, and it doesn't make it greater. It just makes it different. Because my house, my leather family, I'm in a traditional leather family, but it's atypical because Mistress Mirror is the head of my leather family. And most leather families are not headed by females. They're not matriarchal. So far be it from me, who's in something that's different. I mean, my mentor became my brother. I was mentored by Mr. Blue, and he asked me into the leather family that he was in, and in turn, I inherited Goddess Indigo and Mistress Max Rules and Goddess Lakshmi. All of those are my upline, right? So that's a lot of weight. So when you see, especially when you see me in groups like giving guidance, like and saying the bad parts about it, that's because I got a lot of weight. So I can't be out here in these streets looking raggedy or not giving good information because
Right.
I've been sat down. I got sat down like a nigga in church. You know how they sit you down in church? They tell you you no longer occupy the front pew. You have to sit in the back. I got sat down like that in front of people about
Mhm.
the Goddess Lakshmi and excuse me, the Goddess Indigo by Mistress Max Rules because I neglected to properly introduce her.
Mm.
And you know what I did? You know what I said when that happened? Not a
What's that?
goddamn thing. I sat my ass down because a matriarch of my family was giving me wise counsel and redressing me. She didn't pull me to the side. She did it right in front of people. Just like my misstep was in front of people, she did it right there. And that's what you do with family, right? And that's part of the disconnect because it's not out of spite or malice. It's always out of love, right? Right. So the same thing is it's hard for me to let something go because I'm doing it out of love, but I'm never doing it out of malice. And I'm never doing it to make someone feel smaller, right? Because all of us started out not knowing a goddamn thing.
Absolutely. Hey, give it up. Give it up. Y'all heard it from the man himself. Again, I appreciate you being up all late with us or early, depending on how you look at it. But I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And I know everybody in this room does right now as well. All right. So, yeah, everything you said, absolutely true, dead on. I know that it made it clear for a lot of people some things that they might have been confused about. So take that for what it is. You know, it's not every day you get an opportunity to sit down with someone like Master Sekou and actually get a little bit of one-on-one. So take that lesson and, you know, build on that. Because that's a great thing that y'all just got right now, that we all just got right now. So
Definitely dropping some gems.
gems. So I just wanted to add on by saying that in the community from time to time, I'll come across an S-type that doesn't necessarily fit the mold. You know, she's not necessarily what you would think of in an S-type. but she is. She might be loud, might be smiling all the time, laughing, having fun, dancing around and all that. But she's an S type. That doesn't mean that she's not, when we think of S types, we automatically think subdued, calm, collected, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's how it has to be. So overall, that's the main thing that we were trying to get across with this whole lesson, and I'm glad we did. Yeah. I think we had some statements.
We do during Master Sekou's sermon, because that's what it was. We got some comments in the chat. From B, he added, allowing what others do in their dynamic affects how you are as a D or S type can destroy what you want to create with your partner or partners. Just as regular vanilla relationships. If there is something that you see somewhere else that you would like to implement or change, you should speak with your partners. Just because it works for them doesn't mean that it's going to work in your dynamic. That's true. We see. I see stuff that I like that other people do all the time, and in reality, will it work for me? Probably not. But sometimes we see something and our eyes become bigger than our stomach, and we realize that we shouldn't have ate it in the first place. Let's see here. Mr. Tip says, shout out to all the married friends. Hey, apparently there's people smoking and they smoking without us during Zoom, and we missed it. Just getting nice zooted and booted, but I like the vibes. Queen said this right here. Miss Gwen Stacy said that's a good point. She's probably talking about one of those mini points listed by Master Sekou. We got some more thank yous from Queen, from Angel the Siren. Nafisa adds, I'm going to start my notebook in these sessions. Oh, listen, sometimes you got to take notes.
Yeah.
When we're in our house meeting, I take notes because if I don't write it down, it doesn't stick. And sometimes you need it to stick.
All the time.
Yes, sir. Master Sekou added, this King journey is like tap dancing. And then iPhone 4 kicks in. Fact, that was all capital letters with a Z. So they meant it. They meant it. Master Sekou goes on to add, folks steal from what they see all the time. Just give a little citation where it came from.
Right. Absolutely. So, little known fact. I myself was out of the community for a while. I was doing the vanilla thing, try to be normal as I thought I was doing. So I sat out for a while. During the time that I sat out, a lot of things had changed. COVID came and COVID just completely changed the game. Like when COVID came, people were online in the groups. They were talking different. Things was just changing really fast, right? So I had to actually learn a different way to communicate. Whereas before, because of the people that I was surrounded with the most, I was able to talk to them in my regular way, and they understood where I was coming from. Whereas other people didn't know. They don't know me. These people don't know me from nobody. So when I come in and I'm talking to them, giving them, my rundown and all, sometimes they're looking at me like, who the hell are you? And what are you talking about? But I had to relearn a lot of things because so much had changed. That was just one example, but there's a lot of different things that have changed. So.
Nafisa added on, she said she did the same thing as you, sir. She left in 2019. She came into it in 2016. She said right now she's a baby in it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're in the right place for sure.
Definitely.
Mixing it up with a bunch of positive people with good minds to get the good information out there, to be inclusive. That's the word I was looking for. So I want to talk about another case study, right? We're going to go into the getting ready to run out of time here in a minute. So I'm just going to kind of get to the meat and potatoes of this. I want to talk about a case study. The one that I was talking about earlier about when they were not using the regular titles and all that that you would expect, or just traditional titles. This particular house, they had words like anchor, muse, protector, and they were doing their own thing. That again, just like Master Sekou was saying, that may work for them. But there are those that are more traditionalists, and they want to do what works for them, and being traditional works for them. So there's no right way. There's no. Well, there's definitely a wrong way. There's definitely. I don't want to say there's no wrong way. There's definitely a wrong way. But let's say there's no real cookie cutter way to do this where you're doing it the correct way. You just kind of got to go through it, learn your lessons, talk to people, talk to your S types, talk to your D types, talk to other S types and D types, talk to mentors, talk to people who's been in this for a while. You can build whatever you want. Just talk to people and make sure that it's what everybody wants,
Yes, sir. Going back to what Master Sekou was talking about, the framework of BDSM, the traditions, the protocols, the rituals. One of those things that I think that is just as universal, if not more so, I think it's the meat and potatoes of all of this. It's consent. No matter how you kink, no matter what you kink with, no matter who you kink with, the titles you may use, what kind of scenes. I know some people that will only do a scene in pink. Like they're gonna be dressed up, baby girl pink. It doesn't matter what kind of thing it is. Whatever it is you're doing, consent just simply needs to be at the core of it. Because without that, you're violating others' right to kink as they choose. And that's the last thing we want. You can do what works for you. You can try new things, but consent should always be at the core of everything.
Yeah, definitely, especially in scene building. I know people who incorporate like cosplay, painting, even board games. I'm a fan of board games now, thanks to my house. They got me into playing spades and stuff. But my point is, even one couple turned a Jenga game into a kink negotiation game. So as long as it's consented, have fun with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. What it all comes down to is, what do you want to feel? Once you can answer that, then you can build your scene, you can build your house, you can build your life around that and be happy. That's all anybody really wants out of life, is to just kind of to be happy, to be able to be yourself, be seen, be accepted, be loved, cared for, all of those things. That's all we really want. So I want to open it up real quick to see if anybody's got any questions. Maybe a statement about how they've kind of broken away from a norm or something like that. Now, if y'all don't know, I always ask if y'all want to just
volunteer.
But if I don't get one, I just start calling people out. So I'll probably just start calling people out. I'm gonna give y'all a chance though.
The Queen has her hand raised.
All right. Let me hear something, Queen.
I would say Steyr and I did something out of the norm. We are a married couple, and Steyr was like, I think I want to start BDSM. And I'm like, what the hell is that? What we doing? We were already hosting kind of like erotic type parties. So he started educating me on what BDSM was. And we legit went straight into, we're having dungeons. And I'm like, what are we doing? So we went from married couple to DS relationship to having dungeons to being very successful in 5 years. And we started from the bottom. We did it our way. We really structured how we thought we wanted things to look and feel. And we blew up Colombia in 5 years. And surprised out of me, here we are today. Like
Right.
Yeah. So out of the norm, and we had all that backlash. You guys don't know what you're doing. You guys are new. Who are you? Why are you doing it this way? And it was our way. And we have really, people always tell us, thank you for starting this. Thank you for accepting the newbies. Thank you guys for doing it this way. So I would say even people way before us coming in has really helped us grow, and we help the community grow just by doing it our own way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And for anybody that don't know, Queen and her husband, Principal, they're over exclusive. What'd you say? I thought I heard somebody say something. Nobody said something? Oh, okay.
No, but I can think of something. But first we have an add-on for Master Sekou. In response to Nafisa and the conversation we were having just a second ago, says that's the entire thing. There's no right way, but there's a shit ton of ways for things to be done wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. That y'all remember that. Replay that in your head over and over, because that's real right there. It might not, there's no right way, but there's definitely a lot of wrong ways. Okay.
If we talking about wrong ways, you know, sometimes when you're doing things wrong or someone thinks you're doing things wrong, there may be a little criticism involved. So the question I want to pose to the chat is, how do you handle criticism when your kink doesn't look traditional?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Let's see. Angel the Siren. You knew I was going to call you first, right?
Listen, Angel been blowing the entire chat. She just been nodding her head, smoking, listening.
Yep.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Angel.
First, thank you for having me. I would say for me, I like to internalize things. So even if someone says something is wrong about what I'm doing, I might not feel that way initially, but I'll still internalize it. And then I'll also ask my partners how they feel about it. And we'll have a discussion and see if, it had some type of basis or screw them all. But yeah, definitely a person of doing it your way and figuring out what works for you. I think that's why we all came here in the first place.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you. Hey, Gwen. Yup.
Yeah, oh, she saw it coming.
You can you think of something, some way that you kind of, broke the mold and what would be expected, maybe broke a tradition or something that may be viewed as like tradition?
She's taking herself off mute.
Yeah. Still on mute.
I think she said, let me swap. She found jokes on you. My mic can't come on. I just saw that.
Okay.
All right. So you just work, you type a little chatty chat message, and then we're going to bend the corner. We're going around the corner on you.
Right. Let's see. Oh, there she is. She just came in.
Ooh.
Okay, that's the question.
Yep. Go ahead.
Hey, Gwen. So just to reiterate that question for you, sir said, how do you think you broke away from the mode of what was tradition? Is that right, sir?
Honestly, don't think I've had that problem yet. The only thing I can really think of is just identifying as a brat, and being able to step away from immediately being offended by what people think, their biases surrounding what a brat looks like, and just kind of accepting the fact that I might be put in the position where I have to educate in a way that um, that welcomes more open and honest conversations involving ethical bratting and what that looks like. So I think out of everything, I think that's been the biggest thing for me.
Absolutely. I know Queen can identify with that. All right. Summer, were you getting ready to say something?
You can hear it, Summer?
Oh, mute.
Oh no, where did she go?
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost Summer.
There she goes. Waiting on you, bitch. Can't get it off mute.
No, I can't get it out.
Yo.
No, I was just listening to everybody's point. I didn't have anything to say in particular. Just about not feeling pressured into roles, maybe, came to mind, and just kind of create your own space.
Right.
So you can be yourself organically. I think that's the best way to be in a community. Just kind of, you'll find your people, your tribe, when you just are kind of, you know who you are, and just be open to learning, and education goes a long way. I'm still a newbie myself, so I'm still learning and figuring out, and I've never been really big on titles, so this is a whole new world because I came from the LS, but definitely, educate and figure yourself out, and that'll help go a long way.
And remember, obviously, you're always allowed to change your mind.
Absolutely.
Your role, your style, intensity, all of that can evolve with you. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change your mind based on new information, or you're allowed to change your mind based on your own needs and what you want.
Yeah.
Nafisa says so.
Nafisa added, I don't have much experience in the kink world, but being a Muslim in kink and not quiet about it is definitely different. That is.
That I'd like to hear about. I like to hear about
that. You can just drop bombs like that, Nafisa, in the chat.
Yeah,
and then just leave us hanging.
So yeah, let's hear a little bit about that before we get out of here.
I don't know. So when I first came around, I was fully covered, full hijab and everything, and I would post like kink related stuff on my page, and a lot of Muslims we're taboo about private life. And I'm like, no, this is me. I'm a submissive. This is me. I'm going here, I'm going there. And so actually it did some good because it formed a group of women. It's about 6 of us in a group. Only one is active in the lifestyle, but from me coming out, we formed a group, and now we have a sisterhood. So it's definitely something different, something that's frowned upon in the Muslim community, but I don't give a shit because this is who I am. So whatever.
Right on. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, and it's dope because you see how you standing out actually drew others to kind of do the same, and now y'all comfortable together with your little community. That's dope. That's what's up.
But is it really frowned upon?
Oh, there he
goes.
I was just about to read your response, Master Sekou.
Is it really frowned upon though? See, the funny thing is, again, being in other cultures and being in other countries, DS is ingrained in Islamic life, like separation of roles, the rituals they have, the protocols, the expectations of what a good halal wife is. It sounds like an excellent submissive. So somebody saying it's the S&M portion that you may get flack about, but the premise of it, the tenets of it, the submission unto your husband, they all for that, and to say otherwise is bullshit, right? So is the wonderful thing. I think I still have it on my profile. Like, I found the doorway to BDSM in Christianity. When I first came into the community, I openly identified as a Christian kinkster. And a lot of people were like, how can you do that? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, for one, I'm black. That means I went to black church. And everybody went to black church know that the old lady in the front row will tell you, God don't make no mistakes. So if God made me, and God gave me these ideas and these kinks, these idiosyncrasies, I was crafted by the divine's hand to be that which I am. And to be anything otherwise is an affront to my higher power. I don't identify as a Christian, um, a Christian Kinkster or a Christian anymore because I'm just spiritual. I'm religious. I believe in things that existed before somebody wrote down the name of Christ. But to that extent, I still believe I'm perfect in my imperfection. And here's the thing: who I like, who I love, that's in me from the divine. How I love them, that's in me from the divine. How I treat them, that's my test. My test is how I treat them. From the people uh, the pedophiles and the Epsteins. Well, guess what? God put a challenge to you to like little diminutive people. You, as an individual, you chose to prey on children. Now that's fucked up. Cause this grown ass, I done been in Thailand. They got 4'1" grown ass 37-year-old women that like to do all the shit that you fucking tricked a child to do. Take your ass to Thailand and deal with adults. That now you go into whatever you consider hell because you chose to prey on the innocent. But that curiosity is in you from God. What you gonna do with it is where you pass or fail. Because in this community, shit, you like littles? Well, guess what? We got littles, but they can give consent. They also can call the police on you. They can also negotiate a scene that's within their parameters. You chose to prey on innocent, unassuming children. That's why you a demon, right? Not because you like seeing people in little frilly skirts, because it's some people on this call that if they get in a frilly shirt, I'm a look, right? I'm a look, but I know that I need to go with adults, consenting, emotionally mature people, right? That's your test, right? Don't set the house on fire because you like playing with fire. Learn how to do fire play, right? That's your test. Do you know how to do it ethically? Do you know how to take safety into consideration? Do you know how to negotiate willing, consenting bottoms? Because never forget this: my girl, my major domo, slave Sassy Nikki Nia, spent a lot of time in Missouri, and in that Missouri community, there's people who was kinky while that killer was out there, right? And I watched the little BTK Bind, Torture, Kill killer documentary, and I was like, that motherfucker does bondage, he does degradation, and he does and he rape people. I'm like, what would he have turned out to be if he had found a community where he could negotiate with emotionally consenting, intelligent? There'd be a whole lot of people alive right now that's not. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that shit that he was doing, I was like, some of that shit's kind of hot though. Like some of that shit's kind of. He was pretty good with Shibari and shit.
They want this.
Yeah, but you had to find non-consenting people and chloroform them or hit them on the head. You ain't got to. My girl said, "You know, there's bitches everywhere. You ain't got to kill these bitches."
Kill these bitches. I'm gonna use that.
Listen, you know, and it's some that will play dead.
I mean, hey.
You can choke her out a little bit. She'll pass out. She likes that.
Right.
That's the thing. Some people want to walk that line, but understanding that there is a line. And if you consensually negotiate the scene, you could mindfully stay on the right side of the line. Because when I came in the community, my biggest thing about S&M was I grew up, I was born in 72. So in the 80s, in New York, there was this rich dude who choked this woman to death in sex. And he said she wanted it, right? She wanted to be choked. And he ended up having to go to Switzerland and all this other shit in there. And my whole thing when I came in the community was like, I ain't choking nobody because I ain't going to end up like that dude. So when I started going to class, I started understanding that, hey, there's ways to properly choke people. You're not supposed to choke them like you're trying to strangle them. You can cut the blood flow. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
breath play is a thing, but it has never left my mind that if this shit goes wrong, I'm gonna be that dude. Even
Yeah.
somebody asked me, they was like, did something go wrong? Is that why you over in Kenya? I'm like, no, America went wrong. That's why I'm in Kenya. That ain't got nothing to do with BDSM, trust and believe. I'm like, Trump is the reason why I'm in Kenya. I ain't got no bodies that you ain't gonna see me on 48 hours.
Right. Yeah, you about to have a whole lot of a lot of company over there because
Hey.
the way things going, we got to get the fuck up out of here.
I told y'all 2021. And ever since I've been like, do y'all got y'all passports? Now y'all starting to see why I said that. Because in a minute, DC, Baltimore, New York, y'all gonna need your passport just to go to the stove. He moving troops in.
Yeah.
Now you see why I said you need to have your passport. Not just so you could bug out, but so you could not be hemmed up, end up in alligator alley. But that's a whole nother non-consensual mind fuck that's going on right now.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Gwen said definitely get mine. So.
Definitely do. Listen, even if we got to hop, skip, and jump over the border for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So just to wrap up.
All right. So pretty much to sum it up, there's no kink belief. It's not us. It's not people that you may encounter. There's only what works for you and your partners. Take that or leave that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Summer.
Where'd she go?
Basically,
storming here. I'm so sorry. It's storming in. Yeah, I got some lights blinking and stuff. Yeah, so basically I just wanted to end with your way is the right way, kind of what I've said earlier. If it's honest, consensual, and joyful, I say do it. Educate yourself, be safe, and yeah, that's my 2 piece.
Right. So okay, before we get out of here, let's just do a quick recap. There's no single right way to do it, but there's a lot of wrong ways to do it. A shit ton. Your culture, identity, and creativity belong in your play. You can be you during your play. Consent is the only non-negotiable. That's the only non-negotiable. And Sekou said one more thing. There's also no kink universities giving out.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go back. I'm being attacked. The dog got free, y'all. The dog got free. Master Sekou said there's also no kink universities giving out kink degrees. We all had to figure this shit out through trial and many errors.
Right, right. Now, to combat that, we actually did, I got to do my shameless plug every day. Every time at the end, I like to throw my shameless plug out there. We do have an academy. It's 100% online. www.triskellionsacademy.com. There's a free, the course is there. It's free. Just go check it out. Like I said, it's not law, but it gives you a good baseline to start. It gives you a good foundation, teaches you the basic stuff. So overall, just wanted to say, don't be afraid to break the mold. Build your kink around you. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Well, nope, not yet. I got a joke for y'all. I got to hear my joke for the end of the day. I got to tell y'all this joke. So how come you never see skeletons fighting? They don't have no guts.
Terrible.
Hey, that's a
Right,
good
y'all.
vetting
Thanks for
tool.
coming out.
That's a good vetting tool right there. That's a joke, haha, but that's deeper than the word, because a lot of times, all right. So again, as somebody who's kind, not nice, you'll see me buck up, and I know some S types feel like I'm heavy on them, but trust me, I'm harder on D types. They just silent in a motherfucker. They come in and they be silent in a motherfucker. And they got no guts. That's why they be so silent. That's why it's hard to get some of these issues clarified. When somebody come into a group and they say something a little bit off-putting or they speak a little bit sideways, and then you check them and they fade. I'd rather get into a healthy discussion back and forth with somebody, because then I can get to the root of where they coming from. Because, again, it could be, you never attribute something to malice that could be done out of ignorance. That's Hadlin's razor. It's a good quote. Master Obsidian taught that to me. But somebody that go back and forth with you, like, people think me and Mr. CL don't like one another because we be beefing online, but we just have disagreements. I love that brother. That brother got my phone number. I got his. Right? We talk all the time. We just don't see eye to eye. Sir Strange was the same way with me. Those of you that knew Sir Strange. Sir Strange and me would get into disagreements all the time. Me and Orpheus Black. Guru Orpheus, we used to get into disagreements all the time. But I love those brothers, right? And you can't say shit about them when they're not in the room. The same brother that was going back and forth on the page would be defending them when they're not around, right?
Right.
But those ones, if you as an S type, regardless of your gender or orientation, you feel something's wonky about some D type that you're vetting or considering or whatever, and you see another D type approach them and they fade, that's a red flag. Because the reason why I got into it with Sir Strange, because I was new and he checked me and I came right back. Orpheus was the same way, and me and Mr. CL, our biggest beef is he said he's not a dominant. I'm like, motherfucker, you out here dominating the world with your words. You can't be shirking this responsibility. You need to take this title. That's our biggest beef, and it ain't no more than that. But if they can't stand on the bullshit that they saying is bullshit, me, I'll stand on and defend anything that comes out of my mouth or anything that you heard somebody say that I said, if I said it. But at the same time, if you can't stand up, if you can't lead yourself out of a conversation, how the fuck you supposed to be leading somebody else?
Right. Right.
So remember
Absolutely.
that's a red flag. If they ain't got no guts, you might want to pass on that, sir or ma'am.
They ain't got no guts. Don't give them the glory.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Thanks for coming again, Master Sekou. Thank you for blessing us and dropping all these gems for us.
Yeah.
Y'all, I didn't mean to keep y'all this late, but when the conversation's good, you just got to keep going with it. Again, thanks for coming out. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. We'll have a new topic, and enjoy your evening, folks.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye.